Welcome back to the Dragon Nest Arena, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for more 3v3 action. It is going to be Singapore taking on Malaysia, as you've just been told, and it is going to be all on for love and money. The close battle between these two nations is going to ensue on the Lost Temple in just a few moments, so we'll be heading across there in just a few as well. The two teams lining up for you, Malaysia, they are over to my left-hand side. They comprise Simi Udai, Swifts and Nels, and then the Singaporean team, NFO, ICE and the VFO, as we shoot over to the Lost Temple. So the two teams start to get themselves ready. They are separated by a Acrobat versus the Simi Udai, who is the Bowmaster. So those are the two variations in that one class. So that'll be a little bit more interesting for you. There is also an Elemental Lord on both sides, and it looks like we'll be ready to rock and roll in through the middle. There's the Priest in the form of the Malaysian side. So Malaysia comprising the Bowmaster, Mercenary and the Priest, and then the Elemental Lord, Priest and the Archer. The Acrobat are the differentials. So the Mercenary here for Malaysia, just bouncing and pounding himself around, if you will. And these two sides get themselves ready to rock and roll, and they'll clash down the bottom of the map here as the top side and bottom side is being used to full effect. They'll come around the side here and come into blows in and around the middle. The Mercenary here just pushing himself through and getting himself into a little bit of trouble here from the perspective of Malaysian side, but he'll be able to recover it off. No, now he's been slowed down in amongst the ice. It is going to be a tough battle for him to get out of this one, as he's really slowed down. You can see it there as the character turns a slight tinge of blue, but also by the fact that he's been absolutely nailed by a number of shots. And the Priest there from the Singaporean side just getting in and getting amongst the kill opportunity. It's still a now it's a 3v2 situation. The Singaporeans have lost their first as the Priest for Singapore starts to push on through. That's the man in the form of ICE. He sits in between the VFO and the NFO players, as now the Bowmaster here for Malaysia, just firing off a couple of volleys, just waiting for the players to come around the corner. The difference between the Acrobat and the Bowmaster is, of course, the ranged attacks versus the close range attacks. The Acrobat has more of a specialisation in close range, while the long range is definitely the deft touch of the Bowmaster, but both still very good in their respective fields, which is with the bow. The shots are good ones here as the Priest copping a whole lot of heat, and in the end will finally get taken down. First round goes in favour of the Malaysian side, who still stay standing. It is the Mercenary, Priest and Bowmaster who come away with the round win. So Swifts forming the Mercenary for that Malaysian side, and he sits in the middle of that side over to my left hand. And they're doing some very good work here as they start to rock and roll on out. They're going to go around the back of the map here and try and find out where their opposition is going to be hiding on them. The Elemental Lord goes to the top of the bridge and says, hello, how you going? There's a big boulder coming her general direction, but she'll avoid that with quite a lot of ease. And they start to push on through. So this Malaysian side just deciding that they don't need the magic class, and opting instead for all three of the two more melee bias classes, as well as the Priest, to give them all the heals, as a big lot of lightning gets chucked on down, and the round begins with some great fury. Lightning aplenty from the Priests as it gets chucked all over the map. And now we're seeing the Singaporean player knocked to the ground, but he'll recover himself back off. He's getting the Mercenary with some attention on him at this point in time. As they start to rev themselves up, the Mercenary is caught out the back. It could be curtains for him as he starts to get a little bit too trapped over in the back corner. In fact, it will be. It'll be a 3v1 situation here as the Elemental Lord comes into full effect, and it'll just be the one player, the Priest, left for the Malaysian side, who's going to get caught in the corner. Here comes the Acrobat to go into close range melee battle, and bang, there it is. The big somersault bang into the ground, and that's all that's required. A huge area of effect on that manoeuvre, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll see it later on with Falala when he's in the 1v1 mode. He does it very, very nicely with that Acrobat in hand, so you just keep an eye on that one to come out more as the day progresses. It'll be once again, another round. One round apiece on the board for these two teams. Singapore taking on Malaysia here, of course, ladies and gentlemen, in the Dragon Nest Arena. Thank you very much to Alienware, Intel, Sound Image Productions and Star Hub, who are providing all the support that is needed to make this a cheeky little affair that's coming to your eyes and ears right now, as we start to watch to see these two teams pushing on through. Of course, all the peripherals provided courtesy of TT Esports by Thermal Take, and what a genuinely good job they're doing in that regard as well, with a decent prize cupboard for the players to take away when they come away with a win here. These two sides, of course, are suffering from a loss early on in the day and are now looking to try and get one back on the board, and are doing so nicely just so far at the moment on both sides that they even it back up into 1 round apiece. And the shots are starting to ring across the map here with 2 minutes left on the clock, 1 minute gone, and it'll be Holy Wars out the back as the Priest goes on, and they take each other on, but there's Mercenary to back him up from Malaysia. That is Swift's coming into his own, and he'll barrel across back towards the middle of the map as he starts to make a push. The Priest for Malaysia just suffering down the back of the map. The Acrobat's going to go bouncing. He's got to be careful here, the Priest from Malaysia, that he doesn't get stuck at the back with that Acrobat on his lonesome, because she'll just bash him around a bit, and she starts to do exactly that. He'll head around the back of the corner. It's a 3v2 situation here for the Malaysian side. The Singaporeans getting the one-man advantage, which is good news for them. The Elemental Lord just firing out the ice and the fire as she needs to do, but in the meantime the Priest is going to throw out the heals. Huge heal up on the Elemental Lord, and that's going to give her a chance to jump on the broomstick, but not going to be for any good. Still a 3v2 situation as the Priest is still standing here for the Malaysian side. The Singaporeans definitely with the one-man advantage, and with some deft touch required to give themselves any sort of advantage. The whirlwind attack comes in from Swifts, unable to affect anything at this stage. In fact, he gets bashed back up the stairs in towards the mid. His teammate has been taken down, so it's all up to him to try and do the damage that's required to win this round for his team. But it's going to be a hard ask with a 2v1 situation in hand. And here comes the Elemental Lord, but she's not going to be needed. The Priest will do the work, and it'll be 2 rounds to 1 on the scoreboard. Singapore grab themselves a lead. So we'll start to push on into the next round, as I just to correct myself here. So NFO, he is of course the Elemental Lord for the Singaporean side, and VFO, the Acrobat. Just to clarify that one for you, only a letter separates them, but a class separates them also. Ice, the man in the middle, controlling the situation for his team. A character to boot as he gets his side organised for this Singaporean level stage. Just watching now at the top of the bridge as the Singaporeans bound on down. It is time to get amongst it, and they try and unload the pain train onto that Malaysian side as they rock on, and the huge amounts of fire from the Elemental Lord from Singapore. Great work there from the, in fact that is going to be NFO as he pushes on through. Of course, the lone Elemental Lord on the map here. The Malaysians opting not to have one, and they'll start to push on through. So Semi Udai, he's the Bowmaster, unloading a volley of arrows back over towards the Priest for Singapore, but he will not succumb to too much damage. And in the meantime, the opposition Priest is getting nailed by some lightning. It is going to be Holy Wars in the background as the two Priests take each other on. It's going to be now pushing on over to the middle of the map. They got the Priest isolated, but in fact it's going to turn on its head, because there's going to be a 3v2 situation here in favour of Malaysia, and the Malaysian player was running away from his support, but as it turns out, he's gone and got himself a kill on the way through. So his team have got themselves into a nice spot. They have to watch themselves from here though. It's a Priest and an Acrobat taking on 3. The Bowmaster just backing out. Here comes the Mercenary from the backdoor action. He feigned like he was going to do the full lap and come back around and say hello, but he didn't need to in the end. He drops in to say hello just at the opportune moment to get some backdoor action going, as the Acrobat's going to get nailed. She'll go down. It'll be all over and curtains here for the Singaporean side, with just one player remaining in the form of the Priest on your screen. That is Ice, and he will have a lot of work to do to finish this round off in a positive fashion, but it is looking very, very difficult for him here as he goes wandering on up to his opposite number, and will indeed get taken down by a swinging axe from the Mercenary. 2 rounds apiece on the scoreboard. The two teams get themselves levelled, and they'll now push on again, once again in this Lost Temple, the map on your screens. It is a figure 8, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, as the two teams start to push in towards the middle. No, they're not. Singapore is going to take the left-hand turn and head on over in a different direction. The players from Malaysia quite comfortable just to wait it on out and see exactly what happens here as the Singaporeans decide. It'll be top side that they want to go, up the bridge, and that's exactly where they head. So they go up the top of the bridge and fire some shots down the bottom as we look to see exactly where they're going to head. watching these players as the shots, there we go, they're going to jump down the bottom of the bridge as the Malaysian players just disappear out of view. Now they're going to come through back into the various directions, so we're going to start to see the action plenty here as the Elemental Lord's sort of stranded on her own. This is not good news for the Singaporean side as the shots start to come onto her, but in the background the two remaining Singaporean players have come around the back as well. This could be working quite well for them as the Elemental Lord goes broomstick riding, fires out the flame out the back of that, couldn't quite pick up too much in the way of damage. It's still a 3v3 situation as there's 2 minutes left on the clock. The shots continue to pummel on out from both sides. The whirlwind goes up from the Acrobat. That is great work from her. She's going to get herself into a good position to try and start a multi-attack onto the team as there's some good ice shards going on there. The Mercenary caught in a will to hurt, and as it's going to be pummel time for him, is the Elemental Lord doing some great work there. It's going to be Acrobat versus Bowmaster as well off on the side there, as the Bowmaster just seeking refuge around the corner, trying to stay away from that Acrobat, who once she gets in close can cause a whirlwind of attack. And speaking of whirlwind of attacks, here comes the Mercenary flinging players in the air. He's going to grab himself an early kill, and he's going to grab himself a second kill as well. It'll be a 3v1, just the Priest left once again remaining. Poor old Ice having to do all the work as NFO and VFO dumped on the floor, and it'll be advantage Malaysia. 3 rounds to 2 on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, as those Singaporean players just not rallying well enough in that occasion, and the Malaysian players sticking together very, very nicely. And that was the key there, looking back on that round. The two teams now separated by a round, and everything to play for here. They want to grab this round. They want to stay in the hunt for the prizes, grabbing a round on the board and keeping in amongst it. The sides just starting to move across and towards the middle of the map now. And up the stairs they go. So they're going to head up to the top of the troll bridge. Will the Singaporean players just keeping an eye on things? Oh, boom! The big boulder up the top side there. The preemptive attack from the Malaysian players not coming to much, as the Singaporean players just wandering around the map, just trying to find an access way, a way through, if you will. Trying to find a different... Oh, boulder was a good one there from the Malaysian player. As the buff comes back out, they'll try and sort themselves out. Almost a minute gone in this round and nothing really to write home about at this stage. As here we go now. They'll start to jump on down. The big buff comes out from the Priest. Out comes the shots from the Bowmaster, and the Acrobat fires up the little wind cyclone in and around her. It's like a little dome of air that goes in and around and causes all manner of damage as the shots continue to push on through. Electricity being flung out all over the place, and so is the Elemental Lord coming into her own with plenty of ice being flung about there. The Archer classes go toe-to-toe out the back as the Bowmaster and Acrobat go nuts. Bang! There's the big Acrobat slam, and it'll daze her for a touch, but she won't get hit up off the back of that and be able to recover out of it quite happily. So it is all on here. Oh, look out, there goes the Acrobat up into the vortex that's created from the Mercenary's whirlwind, and they'll be able to come back out of the other side of it. Malaysia loses a player along the way through. They'll just have a Priest and a Mercenary still standing. That means that they've lost their Bowmaster, and the Priest is just trying to get chased away by 2 players. He gets some support from his Mercenary mate, but is it going to be too little too late as the whirlwind attack comes on through? The shot on the Archer Acrobat is a very, very good one as they both get close to taking each other down. Not going to be the case though. In fact, it's going to be the Priest that'll get dropped in the end, and it'll be 1 left in a 3v1. The Mercenary within a inch of his life, as there goes the shot. In the end, the Acrobat with the adept shot with the arrow, taking the player down, and it'll be 3 rounds apiece on the scoreboard. A round 6 victory, as you see it on your screens there, ladies and gentlemen, and it'll be everybody back into the mid. So once again, these two sides, the Singaporean team on the blue, that is the Ancients, and the Malaysian side in red being the Chaos side. As they're coming to blows in the middle in this 3v3 Shanda Invitational best of 4, as these two sides vying for decent spoils courtesy of Thermal Take and the TT Esports gear that is on offer in the prize pool. So now we see the Mercenary just bailing on out the back. There's only 1 Mercenary on the map, there's only 1 Elemental Lord on the map. There are 2 Priests, and there's an Acrobat and a Bowmaster. Those are the Archer class, part of the same family, but just very much not having a bar of each other today. As the Bowmaster just firing some shots out at the back as her Mercenary friend goes in to join her to make sure she's got some cover. Plenty of icicles being flung out over in the general direction as the Mercenary just managing to avoid those. The Priest buffing himself up, but also catching a cold there for the moment. and coming out the other side of that. So there's so much action happening in through the mid here. Look at the lightning, it's suppressed everybody. The 3v3 action is now going to come to a head because of the buffs that are going on around the middle there. So now the shots go through. There's the resist pops up as you see it there, but that's just going to mean that there's the debuffs are put in place instead. There's the first kill, but they come out at the same time. So it's now a 2v2 situation. The Bowmaster firing shots and arrows, trying to home them on in, can't quite do so. One hits its mark in the form of a kill. Yes, it does. 2v1 situation. Singapore get the one-man disadvantage as the Mercenary goes roaring in here from the Malaysian side in a 2v1 situation, and that Mercenary is just going to hide out the back. It's going to be the Priest left for Singapore. He's got a lot of work to do. He goes chasing and buffs himself up. So does the Mercenary at the same time. Here comes a shot from the Bowmaster. Just avoid some of those. Here comes the Whirlwind from the Mercenary. He'll be quite content just to sit back and watch them for the moment. But the shots are unrelenting from the Bowmaster. Here comes the Priest to try and take him down now. He's doing some great work. He's got the advantage of being able to heal himself on the way through, but he's got to withstand the shots and be able to dish some out at the same time. He goes for the lightning crosses and gets himself dazed and confused on the way through, drops to the floor, and then gets himself back up. He's stuck in between the two players here. Needs to make a decision on which one to go and take down. There's the Bowmaster, there's the Mercenary. They're roaring around all over the map and just trying to avoid this man, the Priest. They know that they've ultimately got the advantage of a round if they can both stay standing. So the two players, another good shot from the Acrobat. Oh, sorry, the Bowmaster was a good one. Oh, and another good shot, and another good shot, and another shot. Oh, hold the phone. They are on fire, and that will be a fantastic piece of work there. The Bowmaster from deep, picking the shots, perfectly timing them, and that will grab them the round. So it'll be 4 rounds to 3 in favour of Malaysia onto the scoreboard here in the Dragon Nest Arena. So we start to progress to the next round, and it'll be 4 rounds to 3 with another round ensuing. So just watching here as the two teams start to run around all over the map, chasing each other at this point in time, or at least the Singaporeans are chasing the Malaysians to a decent spot on the map. The homing arrows come in onto the Priest. He gets absolutely slaughtered, knocked down by them, and now they start to come to blows around the corner. It's a corner attack, and this means that some of the shots that will come through will be guesstimates as to when players will come through, remembering that Dragon Nest has a semi-skill shot element to it, so therefore the players need to really be on their best as they take these shots around the corners. There's the Bowmaster there just bouncing down there and there. Here they go. So they're going to get themselves positioned. The backdoor shot from the Mercenary. It is a decent boulder that goes around the back and tries for the area of effect shot. Let's see what the Singaporean players are going to do and try and pull off themselves together and do. Elemental Lord comes blinking across. Acrobat is in there with them. Here we go. Flame Rod flies on out. That's the broomstick. It does a whole host of damage if it can hit its mark. Let's see if it does so, as the Elemental Lord just getting herself into a bit of a furious pain station. And she'll fire on out the flame balls, and let's see if she can pick up a kill. It's still a 3v3 situation. They start to gang up on the Priest in the corner. This is going to be good work for them. Down goes the first player from Malaysia. At the same time, they lose one themselves, so it'll be the Swiftsman, Nels in fact, who gets taken down, as there's the Mercenary, and there's the Priest and the Elemental Lord still standing. So that means that VFO has been dumped. He's the Acrobat for the Singaporean side. It is going to be a 2v2 situation. 1 minute and 15 remaining on the clock. And now they start to get themselves teeted up. So there's still a Priest on the board for Singapore, but the Malaysian Priest has been done over. Mercenary still standing along with the Acrobat as the Malaysian side get themselves organised. The Priest copping a whole lot of heat. He didn't do too well against the Acrobat last time round, just tries to electrify her up. And in the meantime, as a whirlwind attack out the back from the Mercenary, he got the Elemental Lord into a world of hurt and just did so beautifully. The shots continue to push on through and pummel. Elemental Lord taken down. This is not going to end well for Singapore, and they will be ending up losing this map by the looks of it. And stuck in the corner, ragdolled about. This game is over. 4 rounds will turn into 5, and it'll be a 5 round to 3 win. Look at that. It's just absolutely demoralising as you get ragdolled about in the corner. 10 kills for the Mercenary, none for the Priest, but plenty of support kills, and the Bowmaster grabbing 6, but some good quality kills along the way here on the map of Lost Temple. So that round win, 5 rounds to 3 in favour of the Malaysian side, as they get themselves organised for another volley of attacks. They need to get themselves going here, do the Malaysian team. as they sit back. They're now in blue. Just to remind you, they will be in the blue side. That's the ancient side. And the Chaos will be the Malaysian, the Singaporean team. Shots fired out, nobody really hitting their mark just at this point in time, as the bridge is used as the option of choice for the two sides to just come to blows, and plenty of shots going all around the place as well. Nobody really wanting to engage in a great big way at this point in time. Somewhat unusual to see early on the map, because typically there's a little bit more aggression and advantages trying to be taken early on in the game. And in order to get that 1 or 2 round advantage on the board, they can then start to try a few different things and push and consolidate on those rounds, or at least get some sort of change going for their side. Here comes the push now. A little bit of communication from the Malaysian players. The flame rod comes out massively early there from that man known as, I think it's NFO. Yes, it is, in fact. So he pushes on through. Well done to him as he goes through. He's got his teammates alongside him, so they're sticking together quite nicely here. The Singaporean team. The mercenary in the form of Swift, he pushes on up. He's trying to bash his way across. He's found the acrobat to try and take down, but it won't do so very successfully here, as the priest comes in to take him down as well. So he's going to bail on out, go down the bottom of the map. The Elemental Lord's going to go chasing him. This is an interesting situation here. The Mercenary's got himself cornered over the side. The Elemental Lord come in to take him down, as does the Acrobat, but some support comes in for the Bowmaster. Good work there, but is it too little too late, as there's been a lot of damage done to the Mercenary on the way through. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, he gets himself into a whirlwind, just missing out on picking up the Acrobat as she bounced down out of it, and that is some decent work there from the player from Singapore, just managing to avoid that imminent doom that was the VFO. So NFO now, he needs to come into his own with the Elemental Lord onto the attack. There's the priest from the Malaysian side, just trying to buff up his team. It's going to be a 3v1 situation. Malaysia getting a definite advantage here as they dropped 2 players. It's a 2v1 situation though. Hold the phone as the priest grabs a kill on the way out the door, and looking like he's stuck in a sticky situation here as he's got himself a 1v1 situation. Hold the phone. Let's see what his opposite number's up to. The 2 priests buffing themselves. Will they buff themselves enough though? Here they go again. They're going to go in. It's going to be Holy Wars out the back in the spawn area. It's going to be a late attack. Is there going to be much aggression? The shots go on through. Here comes the priest from Malaysia. Here comes the priest from Singapore. The shot's going to go through Singapore. Bang! Oh no! There we go. The Malaysian priest comes up the winner in the end, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the man in the form of Nels. He's on my hard left there, and he has done a fantastic job in that situation. He had the health advantage, but just got it knocked away from him a touch, and in the end, the Singaporean player just missing out. So bad luck to him. As Singapore's priest in the form of Ice, the man in the middle of his two VFO, NFO players. So buffs chucked out as the teams get themselves organised out the back of the map now. Oh, decent shot there from I think that was the priest that unloaded that holy light, and a great piece of work from him on that occasion. There's the priest now pushing in from from Singapore here on your screen right now, just buffing up his teammates and copping a bit of heat, but also dishing it out at the same time. Plenty of work to be done from both sides. Here's the opposition priest. He's just trying to take down the Acrobat, who's causing all manner of issues out the back from the Malaysian perspective. And look at that. He's ragdolling the priest around here as VFO, as he just bashes him around and tries to fling him all around. He has got them all absolutely nailed in the corner. He just needs to consolidate this. Just misses out on the arrow there, but now he goes back for some more. He bashes and crashes and tosses him around. Here comes a combo onto the priest. He's still buffing himself back up as the priest, so he's got himself a little bit of leeway in respect to the damage that he was taking, as VFO will join his teammates, and now he'll go back for some more. Tries the arrow to drag him in to go for the combo, couldn't quite do so. So now he gets the combo headed on up. It's going to be tough times for him here. It's a 3v2 situation as the Singaporean players grab a 1-kill advantage. They've got the mercenary and the priest still standing, so while that priest is still standing, anything can still happen on this map of Lost Temple. They start to use the figure 8 to full effect here, do the Malaysian team, as they're just going to disappear into the background and just wait for players to come to them. In the meantime, they'll probably do the buffs and the heals and everything like that. as the Singapore players just peeking and poking. Here we go. So the Singapore players buff themselves up. Oh, big holy light shot going through the middle. And here it comes. It rains Mary Terror down from above. It is not quite going to pick up the shots that it needed to, but it's going to be good enough. Oh, big boulder there from the Mercenary coming back in his general direction. That is a great piece of work, as the Singaporean players now needing to team up together and take the player down. It's still a 3v2 situation. Elemental Lord needs to come into her own, but the player known as NFO just sitting back with her at this stage, and it's still going to be a 3v2 situation. 35 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to come into play if they're not careful, because they're now definitely going to come into play. It's a 2v2 situation. Shots between the two priests are now in consideration as the Malaysian players lose another one. So now they need to recover that one player loss. It is the Mercenary who's going to have to attack somebody, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Gets caught in a ice shard or two, but the priest, his priestly friend, has buffed him up with a bit of health and a bit of healing. And so 10 seconds left on the clock. The Mercenary goes for the Elemental Lord. Will he take her down? Oh, yes, he will. Now he's going to send his attention across towards the priest, but this round is going to be done and dusted. We're going to run out of time. Just in time, the Malaysian player picks himself up a kill. That is Swift at his darndest with the first map went 5 rounds to 3. And now we're on the second. It is currently 1 round to 0 after a teensy little game glitch, and we will lock on back into it once again. The two sides just getting themselves set up once again, roaming around the map, looking for a opportunity to try and get a shot on the opposition, or a cheeky little jab, if you will. If you want to throw a boxing terminology alongside it. The teams start to go up to the top of the troll bridge as they start to look for where the opposition players are hiding. Shot goes out there from the Elemental Lord in the form of NFO. He just takes a cheeky little shot from above the troll bridge, but nothing really for him to write home about at this stage. The boulder is a big one. I'm not sure it hit the mark. No, it doesn't seem to have hit the mark. From the player Swift from Malaysia. So just a reminder, Malaysia obviously in the red this time round, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, in the blue in fact, and the Singaporean side are now in the red. Acrobats and Bowmasters bouncing around the map looking to take each other on, and now we start to get into a bit of action. They are very, very adept at bouncing around the map. Their dexterity is good, their agility is just as good, as they all start to bounce around, and both the fact that they're being acrobatic as well as the fact that they're getting bashed around. The Bowmaster caught in a little bit of fury from the Elemental Lord as another battle happens in the background between Mercenary and Priest. There comes the Bowmaster in to save the day, but also to try and take out the Priestess at the same time. There's Mercenary and Bowmaster onto the Priest. Elemental Lord comes in to assist. It is going to be all on in the background as the flames and ice start to occur. There comes the holy light shot from above. The fire starts to fire on through as well. The Mercenary is caught into a bit of a web of intrigue as the Elemental Lord is unloading sheer ice and fear on top of him. He's going to manage to escape out of it, but it's the damage has been done already. It's a 3-on-2 situation. Here comes the broomstick. It's going to cause a whole host of flame issues, and it'll still be a 3-on-2 situation. The Mercenary comes back to the action. He gets himself a decent combo going as he wins it up a touch more. Starts to barrel line out. Oh, encountered from behind by the Acrobat, who just says, yo, what up? Here's an arrow. Take it to the knee, and it'll be another round on the board. 1 apiece for both sides. Singapore grabbing one back on that occasion. So 1 round apiece on the scoreboard here in the Dragon Nest Arena, ladies and gentlemen, as the two sides just battling it out nicely here so far. And we just wait. They've got this good game of cat and mouse they like to play right at the start of the game. We lose about a minute worth of a round, but it certainly makes it all tight, fast, and incredibly hard fighting at the end of the round. So just watching the two sides as they start to get themselves organised and pushing themselves together. They screen sheet a lot, these players, just to check on what everybody else is doing and make sure that they know exactly what their teammates are doing at the same time. There's the acrobatic somersault kicks there going on there. There's the acrobat in the form of VFO just getting into his work alongside his two teammates. There's the push on through. The Priest giving some decent buffs from ice. VFO pushing on through far too far ahead as the Elemental Lord not really getting much solace, but out comes the broomstick once again pushing through the mid. Will that damage come out nice and early and assist his team, or will it be a little bit too early? Mercenary throws out the boulder, the Bowmaster firing out the volley of arrows as the shots continue to push on through. Here comes the Priest and the Elemental Lord in to support their teammate as the Acrobat just getting stuck in a little bit of a 1v3 situation. Now she'll recover on out of that, and the Bowmaster is the first to go down. Great work there from the Singaporean players as they grab themselves onto one-man advantage, a 3v2 situation. The push comes to shove now as there's a bit of a bouncing around going on from the Mercenary. He's stuck into a world of hurt as he gets absolutely pummeled onto the floor, tries to recover out of it. It's the Priest that's also looking to try and get out of it. Here comes the Whirlwind Vortex as the Malaysian players try and get on and amongst it. The Priest buffs up. Down comes the rain of fire any second now. It's going to be a big storm of lightning above him, and it's going to cause a 2v1 situation. Great retaliation here from the Malaysian team. It is still on for love and money. The Elemental Lord is still bashing away. She's turned it into a 1v1 situation. Let's see what can happen here as NFO is going to take on the fury and might of the Priest, and so in fact it's the Mercenary Swifts. So it's a very uneven match, but if NFO can stay away from her for just enough, oh, he's not going to. Huge win. The Malaysian player, much maligned as far as the health was concerned. He was on around about 10% compared to the 20-odd, or sorry, about the 40 to 50% that the Elemental Lord was on. But in close range, unfortunately, NFO just could not get away from that 1v1 battle, and he needed more range and couldn't fire out the ice at the same time. So the ice shards is what's going to save a Elemental Lord in that close range situation. He just wasn't able to get it off, and as a result, stuck, taken down, and absolutely dispatched accordingly with the big axe in hand. So boulder chucked up to the top of the bridge as a generic let's see if I can hit something shot from that man on screen, the Swifts, as he just took his team to another win. So it is 2 rounds to 1 here in favour of Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen. They have that 1 round advantage already, that 1 match advantage already, I should say, as they picked up the first game 5 rounds to 3. And we continue with the cat and mouse that these two teams like to play at the start of a game. Once again, we wait for them to try and find a target to push on through, and while we wait, we'll remind you that, of course, you can get yourself in and amongst all the goodies here at the Funan Digital Life Mall, as these two teams are playing on the Alienware laptops, which is exactly what you can pick on up, and you probably want to with the Intel CPU inside as they start to come to blows, and their CPUs will do them proud as they can handle all manner of fury, which is exactly what's being laid down here in this Dragon Nest Arena, ladies and gentlemen. The shots start ringing out across the map. The Priests unload the crosses and also the buffs at the same time. The Grand Cross flying through the middle, that's the big X that you see, the glowing yellow one, and it's going to be Acrobats coming to the foray. The support from them is going to have to come into consideration. This Acrobat needs to get in. She's going to go off for her opposite number. VFO is going to get caught into a world of hurt. Fires the bombardment down, bombs himself in with a big somersault drop. Couldn't quite use it to full effect on a whole host of players. Instead, just grabbed some collateral damage on one. Goes back into the thick of the action and just spins around trying to find some more hurt to lay down. It's going to be a 3v3 situation, still with a minute left on the clock. These players winding it right down to the bitter end. The Bowmaster into a bit of trouble here. She gets shots on her. That's Acrobat v Bowmaster time. Oh, there you go. There's the Bowmaster down. 3v2 situation now. So it's going to be Grand Cross firing on through to the opposition. It's 44 seconds left on the clock. That may come into consideration. There's still players of battling it out in these various spots across the map. There's more whirlwind action from the Mercenary. Acrobat goes down for Singapore. So it's a 2v2 situation now, as they start to just sort of rally themselves a touch more. No, they're not. The Priests are going to take each other on up on the bridge. It is going to be Troll v Troll up on the bridge side, with the two Priests having a go at each other. As the lightning crosses come out, so do the shards from the Elemental Lord in the form of NFO. He's doing some good work here to try and help his team out. Here come the buffs and the heals, as they're both going to take their time, try and stay alive. It's still a 2v2 situation. Can they drop a player? Elemental Lord drops down the bottom of the ramp. It's going to leave his priestly friend all on his lonesome. He's got 1 second left on the clock to survive. He will do, only just. Oh, taken to the brink, left alone and all on his lonesome, but in the end 20% health still sticking with him, so he was still decent enough health situation, but if he was given 5 more seconds it might have been a different story altogether. In the end, round draw, and we'll go back and try it all again. 2 rounds to 1 on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, as this round pushes on into another one. Looks like cat and mouse will continue. Tom and Jerry would be proud of these guys, eh? As we watch and wait for another push to come on through. boulders just being flung up, so they're just doing the usual shots that they're trying to get that area of effect spell to hit down on the bottom of the map, and also up the top of the map. The mercenary flinging his boulder up to the top of the bridge, and the Elemental Lord and Acrobat just firing their volley of arrows. Good, decent boulder there, just will grab some AoE effect, so that's just a little bit of splash damage, if you will, from the boulder's explosion as it hits the top of the map. And they'll continue to wait. 1 minute goes, so there you go. It's a 1 minute cat and mouse game. And we'll continue to wait and see how they go. Elemental Lord v Priest. Now we're in for some interesting action, as these two out the back are having their own little fight. This could go very, very badly for the Priest, as the Elemental Lord gets the advantage of much higher damage spells, as the Priest just covering himself with a bit of assistance from his Bowmaster friend. But that's not going to last for too long. Oh, Bowmaster shot was a good one. Well timed as well, but there's a decent area of effect shot at the same time. The Priest is going to get hammered by the Elemental Lord. This could be all tears, as yes indeed it will end in tears. So there goes the first kill for Malaysia. They are gone down. It's going to be a 3v2 advantage here for the Singaporean team, as the Elemental Lord in the form of NFO, he gets himself a kill on the board nice and early. The Mercenary is now the target of the affections of the Acrobat by the looks of it, as that Malaysian mercenary just getting himself stuck in a corner. He'll get taken down, and it'll be a 3v1 situation. Just the one man remaining in the form of, no, in fact, nobody will be remaining. The Bowmaster gets done, and that will be that. So back even Stevens. Finally we get a round that comes to a conclusion, and it'll be Singapore grabbing it. They'll even the scoreline back up at 2 rounds apiece. And the action once again continues here in this Dragon Nest Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shanda Invitational Best of 4. These teams are the best from each country in the SEA region. China, Philippines, Malaysia and Singapore coming to blows here at the Funan Digital Life Mall to decide who exactly is the best in the SEA region on this occasion, as they start to get thick, fast and furious in the corner of the map, out one of the back of one of the figure eights, and the Acrobat just trying to unload some arrow damage onto her opposite number, as the Bowmaster stuck in the corner there. Now here comes the furious anger, as she unloads the PvP close range attacks, and not quite able to affect full damage, but still getting some good damage going around. She bounces around like nothing on earth. It's almost like a small child as they go to a candy store, but in the end she's going to, it's going to be a priest war here. Let's keep an eye on this one as it unloads, but no, the mercenary will come in for some support. So the priest better watch himself here, but at the same time as the mercenary comes in for support, so does the Acrobat as she comes in roaring at the same time. Elemental Lord here in the form of NFO, he's got some work to do, needs to help his team out, as they've got a one-player advantage now. 3v2 situation, the player has gone down, shots go ringing out all over the map. 3v1 situation now, and the only player remaining is the Bowmaster. He's going to have to affect some decent shots from long range before he can get anywhere near on the scoreboard. It is going to be a priest coming in to go melee attack styles, and in the end they're going to win out with all manner of attacks coming through. Singapore grab themselves a lead, 3 rounds to 2, ladies and gentlemen, and now we'll start to see some action really hotting up. NFO just jumping on the flame rod at the end of that round just to show off a touch, as we'll see how much of a cat and mouse game we'll have in this round here. The map of Lost Temple, figure 8 map, is what you see in front of you. It just goes round in circles at either end of it. The top of it is a bridge that goes over the top of the middle of the map, which is where we often find normal teams coming to blows. Not these teams though, they like to race around and use the map to full effect. The lightning cross gets dropped, and it does some good damage, well at least annoyance, on the opposition, and just avoids them from coming up too close. Now they're going to barrel on down the bottom. The Bowmaster bounding around, fires the homing arrows in, and will hit a target there with that, but she's also copping a whole lot of damage there, the Bowmaster. So now they've switched it on their head. Malaysia has gone down to the bottom of the map, and the Singaporeans have gone and taken the top of the map. Oh, here we go. The Elemental Lord goes Harry Potter styles, chasing the snitch with the flame rod out the back. Doing some good work there with the broomstick and the flames coming out. Now she's going to get stuck into the going to get stuck in the Acrobat, or sorry, the Bowmaster's world of hurt, but not going to be succumbing in any shape or form. They're going to be stuck out in one of the spawn areas, and this is going to turn into an interesting battle at the best of times, as the players are all over the back of the spawn area, and just looking to take each other down. It is going to be shots going around all over the place. Here's the Priest and the Elemental Lord teaming up together. Still a 3v3 situation. 1 minute and a half left remaining on the clock. The Priest is hiding himself up with the lightning about to rain down all vengeance and furious anger upon everybody concerned as the shots continue to push on down. Here comes some more great big fast furious action from the two teams. There's the Singaporean players getting trapped in the back of the corner here, managing to come out somehow with 3 players still standing. And as I say that, the first player will go down from a Malaysian perspective. Would you believe it? As the Singaporeans took most of the battle damage inside of that little spawn area. They're going to be able to heal it all off in a touch of in a second, but at the same time the priests are both still standing. So the mercenary, he starts to buff himself up here. No, he's going to be the only man left. The priest is going to get dropped, so it's just going to be the Singaporeans with now 2 still standing. It'll be all on for love and money, if you will, as the priest buffs up his teammate, the Elemental Lord, but the mercenary has something else to say about it. He's still got himself in the game, still trying to attack that priest. As long as he can attack that priest, the opportunity for his teammates to stay alive are very far and few between. But at the same time as he's doing that, he's still got an Elemental Lord chucking shots at him in a very cheap manner. He needs to pull out the Cyclone shot. Will he do it here? No, he won't. He's going to get taken down. Big splash damage shot. NFO for the save there on that occasion, and it'll be 4 rounds to 2 in favour of the Singaporean side. So they lost the first game, or the first match, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. 5 rounds to 3 did Singapore, but they've come back quite nicely here. Got themselves in a match point position, and will be looking to indeed grab that and take it through to a third map. So 2.5 minutes is going to tick on by as we play another game of cat and mouse and go around and do laps of the map while we're waiting for them. If you haven't already, check out some of the goodies on display here in terms of the TT Esports by Thermal Take. Keyboard, mice and other peripherals, because they are available, and that's what the players are playing for as well. And we're all using them on our desktops, including the players right now alongside these Alienware laptops that they're using in this Dragon Nest Arena Shanda Invitational Best of 4 3v3 playoff. They are all coming together quite slowly here, quite happy to hide. The Bowmaster on point duty, just watching for it all to happen. A little bit of discussion going on amongst the Malaysian players. Singaporean players quite content just to run around and find their way through the map. And now we start to come to blows over by the Troll Bridge. So the Priests and the Acrobat getting themselves organised as the Singaporean side just start to push on through. The Priest in the form of Ice just quite content to give out the buffs for his team out the back. Now the shots start to come into a full effect. The Acrobat is going to bomb down on the top of the bridge. That is a big hit. Takes out not 1 but 2 players, and it's going to be a 3v1 situation here for the Singaporean side. They are looking in a solid position. The Bowmaster doesn't need to run away. She can't do much when she runs away to win a game win a round for a team. She tries to buff herself back up again as the Singaporean players wait. Here comes NFO. He's sitting atop the bridge. He'll tell his team where she's coming from. The ice shards go out, and then bang, down the bridge does go the NFO. The cross comes up, throws out the flame rod to try and grab a cheeky kill. Couldn't quite do so, but did some damage along the way through, and in the end it'll be the Priest who effects the kill alongside the Acrobat, and Singapore will grab the win. Elemental Lord, 10 kills. Good work there from NFO. Acrobat had 5, that's the VFO, and then the Priest Ice grabbed himself 3 along the way. That is the second match done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5 rounds to 3, takes on 5 rounds to 2, as we'll be back with the Lost Temple in a moment. And here we rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. This round counts for everything. Both sides came into this match having lost their previous encounters with their opposition, so they'll be looking forward to grabbing a win. At the moment, the players fought it out, 5 rounds to 3 first map, and then 5 rounds to 2 second map. They come away with pretty much back to square one to try and take each other down in a hard-ask way right now. Lots of cat and mouse at the start of this game from these two sides. It slows the game down something chronic, but then when everything comes to a head, it certainly does exactly that. The two teams battle it and mash it with the best of them, and that's exactly what they'll be looking to do in just a few moments. They start to push on in the middle of the map, and shots from the homing arrows of the Bowmaster there just flying in and around. Bowmaster a little bit more adept with the ranged attacks, where the Acrobat, although adept with those ranged attacks, just has more melee prowess. So that is the difference between those archer classes. In the meantime, the only other difference is the Elemental Lord versus the Mercenary. There's 2 priests on the map as well. So the shots start to come to blows there. We're not going to see as much cat and mouse at the start of this game as the Acrobat just goes and taps up the priest there. Oh, big, nice combo coming into effect there. And then she throws him into the whirlwind dome, then fires up the old combinations as well. Then a few more arrows going back onto him. The Acrobat and the priest attack is going on in the back play, while in the meantime there's a 2v2 battle going on over the other side of the map. We'll come to that in just a few seconds, as this Acrobat is looking like she's absolutely unloading on the priest. There is no recourse for the priest at this stage, nowhere for him to escape. He cannot get out of it, and poor old Nels just getting stuck into a world of hurt here, as that man, the VFO, just continues to pummel and pummel and pummel. Some support comes in from his priestly friend. It's going to be a done and dusted round. The 2v2 from Singapore and backplay was perfectly well won, while the priest was taken care of by the Acrobat in the form of VFO over in the foreplay, which we were looking at. And my goodness me, it worked perfectly to a treat for Singapore in the end, and they grabbed the first round. It'll be 1-0. Start the next round on, and the 2 teams start to get themselves organised once again. There's a little bit of discussion going on between the 2, with the interestingly, the Malaysian side quite happy to wear the headphones, and most teams not opting to wear the headphones here. Thank you very much to TT Esports for those. As see the little hounds up in front of me, they're loving the headphones as well. Not sure what they're listening to. I'll ask them later. 3 players still standing from each side. The priests just coming in to make sure that the buffs are thrown out there. A few lightning crosses as well, as the Acrobats and Bowmasters just throwing out those little cheeky tap-up attacks, as the Elemental Lord and backplay getting absolutely hammered by the Mercenary. An uneven match-up at the best of times, especially when it's the Mercenary in close range and the Elemental Lord not able to fire off the ice shards. And that's exactly what's happened here. 1 minute gone in the round, and it's going to be trouble at mill for all concerned. Acrobat shots from up top of the bridge are good ones. In fact, it's Bowmaster shots from up top of the bridge are good ones. They're just hitting their mark as well down the bottom, just tapping up and annoying, if nothing else, as both sides just pushing on, continuing to push on. Now we're into a bit of a state of flux, where players just looking for the cheap damage attacks, trying to make a hit happen here and there, just for an annoyance purpose, as more shots continue to push on through. Waiting it out are these 2 sides. They're just not really starting to come to blows just at this stage. There they all are, sitting at the top of the bridge, as the buffs continue to push on through. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. 1 minute 15 is going to elapse very soon. And probably straight after that, once the minute mark hits, there'll be a wonder if they engage each other, as a lot of time will have elapsed, and it will turn it into a situation where a draw could very well ensue. Mercenary's got different ideas. He rocks on into the attack to Swifts, and he's got his priest in support. So now we're going to go 3v3 situation. The priest has left the Mercenary on his lonesome. As I say that, the Bowmaster gets bashed out the back as well. The Mercenary comes back to get some support, and it wasn't really being offered from the Malaysian teammates, as the Singaporean players now start to get themselves stuck. The priest copped him in a corner, but he'll eventually heal that one back off. 30 odd seconds left on the clock, and it looks like this round is going to wind down as a drawn one, as I don't see the players wanting to engage any further. Oh, here we go. It's going to be a last-minute harassment exercise. See if they can nab that late kill. They don't necessarily know what their health bars are going to be showing, ladies and gentlemen. We only have the benefit of that. It's still 3v3 situation. 17 seconds left on the clock. The shots continue to push on through. The Mercenary starts to get into his groove. He needs to get something going on here. He's the one that can do the best close-range damage. He starts to afflict it. There's the first kill. It'll go down. It'll be the Malaysian player who drops. He's got to be careful, though, this Mercenary. In fact, it's the Singaporean player that drops, and the Malaysians that will grab the round win. So they'll even it back up. Just that Mercenary doing the damage he needed to in the back play, as he teamed up alongside his friends, the Bowmaster and the Priest. And that was good work from him in the end. A whole minute and a half, or 2.5 minutes before anything happened, and then look what does happen. It's fast furious. A single kill is all that was needed, and that's what won you around. So Malaysia will be happy with the work that they did there. As just to remind you, and myself, the ally side, or the ancient side, is of course Singapore, and the enemy, or the chaos side, is the Singaporean side. Sorry, get that right. Malaysian side. Both teams coming to blows in through the middle there. Holy Light being dropped on from above. The priests coming into their own, as the lightning crosses are also banged out there. and a few buffs at the same time. Mercenary now comes in and says, hey, how you going, Ice? As he throws out the big spinning manoeuvres and the big slashy swipes as well. Acrobat comes in to save the day, and that's good work from VFO to support his teammate. Where's the NFO when you need him with the high damage Elemental Lord attacks? That's exactly what they need, and that's exactly what they're going to get. The Mercenary now getting caught in a world of hurt. The Elemental Lord goes onto the broomstick, fires out the flame rod, and it's going to be trouble at mill. The Mercenary is the only player still standing, and he's in a world of hurt, and he's in a world of pain because he's got a whole lot of players coming onto him, and not in a nice way. It will be a decent round for Singapore as they grab the win, and they'll take the lead back again, 2 rounds to 1. So Ice very vocal to his two teammates, making sure that they know that he got this, and they'll continue to push on through. NFO and VFO just being quite cool, calm and collected with their abilities just at this stage as we see them start to push on through. Here's Ice on screen right now. He is the priest for Singapore. On the Asian side, the Acrobat gets told, go, 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 go. That's exactly what she does. She gets the push on through, starts to unload. Mary, hell, that is a great offensive push. She gets them all into that wind dome, and she's going to unload a whole host of fire and flames as she gets the aggression really started here for the Singaporean side. She's copped a whole lot of damage on the way through for her efforts, but at the same time, she's also unloaded a lot as well. Here comes the Dragoness Arena really hotting up. Here's the Bowmaster from Malaysia getting caught down in the corner. First kill goes out. It is that Acrobat who went flying on through, VFO. Let's see if his efforts are going to come to anything as his teammates need to capitalise on this and grab themselves a kill. The Priest drops out of the action, as does the Acrobat, and there goes the Mercenary. So they got left on their lonesome, a couple of them up the top of the bridge, but there's still 2 remaining as far as the Singapore side is concerned. Long shots are starting to come out here. Singapore still needs to attack. They still need to be the aggressor on this occasion. Given that they've got the 1 player down, that's exactly what they're going to do. Let's see what the Elemental Lord can do. Come on, get amongst it, NFO. Blink yourself into some hits and blink yourself into some damage as he fires himself down right into the thick of the action. Getting tapped up a touch from the Mercenary here. This isn't good news for him. He doesn't want to get caught in this web, and that's exactly what's happened to him. He's getting absolutely slammed, hammered, and done over. He will be the only one left, and that will be a big round defeat there. Great work from Malaysia to come away trumped, but it was certainly convincing at the same time. The Malaysian players teaming up awesomely. That Mercenary coming into full effect as he took on the Elemental Lord in a vulnerable position and made it ensured that the round became theirs. 2v2, 2 rounds apiece, sorry I should say, in a 3v3 situation as the players get themselves organised. We see the first 30 odd seconds in this last map have been taken up with positioning, and the lightning cross got dropped and the players are going to meet at the top of the troll bridge. So this will be an interesting tay-to-tay. It's going to be a bit of a choke point, the top of the troll bridge, as everybody starts to come to blows in the middle of it. Another lightning cross is dropped. You hear the noises just going on in the background, but nobody's willing to participate in an aggressive stance. And in fact, just as that looked like it was about to happen, Malaysia's backed off and barreled on out of there. So we'll hit the 2-minute mark with nothing really happening on the clock and on the board either. Teams will back off. Here comes the Mercenary. He gets himself organised, throws out a bit of a debuff, and here comes the Priest and the Elemental Lord at the same time. The Flame Rod came out, as is the Lightning, the Chain Lightning at that. So that is great work there from both those 2 players from the Singaporean perspective. The Mercenary now, he's found himself a couple of targets and he starts to get in close and get amongst it. He's going to take the shots onto the Priest. The Priest is going to retaliate nicely. Now we've got a bit of a backplay battle. This is an unfair one at the best of times, but the Priest has the upper hand at this stage by the looks of the knockdowns that he keeps on getting. Great work from the Priest here just to volley off his the offense from the Malaysian side. The Singaporeans having the 1-man advantage as 1 player dropped in the back lane. The Mercenary copped 2 players up in that vortex as he winds them right up and does some good damage. It is a decent attack that just unleashed there, but there's still plenty to go from the Mercenary and the Priest who still remain here for Malaysia. 1 minute 13 left on the clock. That will start to come into play in a short while as the Flame Rod once again comes out from NFO. That Elemental Lord work going in and doing its damage. More action coming through. 3v2 situation still maintains, and bang! 2 quick kills as the ice shards come out, as do the offensive attacks, and Singapore will grab themselves another round and grab themselves a lead here in this final matchup between the Singaporean and Malaysian sides. The two teams are separated, ladies and gentlemen, by a mercenary and an elemental lord, and also by the two archer classes, the acrobat and the bowmaster. They'll start to come into effect in through the middle of the map here as they wander around once again, looking for something to do, looking for somewhere to go, looking for some action to start to take players down on, as everybody starts to just creepy crawl around the map. Here come the shots, a couple of arrows flung at the between the bowmaster and the acrobat, and here comes a big boulder just to join in the fun. It's a case of, yeah, you've got those sleek little flying through the air things. I got this big massive stone that goes and causes a whole host of damage. Explosions aplenty out through the various sides of the game as Elemental Lord chucked up into the air, but NFO won't have anything of it. He throws the shards out, gets a double whammy on the two players that are around him. Not before the mercenary can bust out and throw the left foot into the gut of poor old NFO. In this 3v3 situation, NFO just being bounced and carried about all over the place. Shots continue to ring on out all over the map as the players get themselves into 2v1s across both sides of the map, and there's a cheeky little problem going on here as one or two players sit out on those. And now the mercenary just barreling himself out into some trouble. He's got himself coming around the back door, seeking some support from his priestly friend. 3v3 situation still sitting in the play. 1 minute 30 as I say that the mercenary goes down, so Singapore grab the advantage. It is the acrobat that'll take him down after all that. Some good teamwork ensuing though. So now the priest and the acrobat start to get themselves going. Oh, cross dumped right down on top of the acrobat, and the acrobat is going to get taken down as well. It'll be a 2v2 situation now. Priest and Elemental Lord taking on Bowmaster and Priest. Two very different classes in the form of the Bowmaster and the Elemental Lord, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. The Elemental Lord just taking her time while the Priest gets up top of the bridge to have a good old look around. They can't quite find their the target of their affections that they comes following them. Oh, shot goes out. It's not a bad one as well. Oh, exploding down on the ground in front of them. And that is great work there from the priest to unload the holy light on top of them. Shot is a good one as the priest has got all the work to do. Where's the Elemental Lord when he needs her? He needs her to come into support in some great shape or form. She's just not doing so at the moment, sitting back and watching the action take place in front of her. It's not going to be good news for the Singaporeans because the priest is being bashed about a bit. The shots from the acrobat are stunning at the best of times. Sorry, from the bowmaster. And that's going to be the end of the round surely because yep, there you go. Round one by Malaysia, 3 rounds apiece, ladies and gentlemen. Great rallying effort from the Malaysian side, and in the end they come out trumps. So we start another round, the 7th if you will, even though there's been a couple of draws along the way here, and we will start to get some aggression going from the two players, the two teams. This is going to be an ultimately important round, ladies and gentlemen. The 4th round for either side to pick up, and that'll put them on match point. So a huge mental advantage as well as obviously a gameplay advantage between the two sides. The boulder just chum out the top of the bridge, hitting the priest right square on the head. And he will just take a touch of damage on that one. Not too much to be concerned about. Lightning crosses get thrown out. Now comes the shots all over the map as the two players, the two teams start to get themselves into a volley of discussion around arrows, bullets and all other manner of bits and pieces that are going across it. As the axe of the mercenary starts to come into effect, he gets some support from his bowmaster friend and the priest. They all back on out of that one. So as much as they launched on into it full frontal, they've backed out once again as well. So the Singaporean players get a chance to regroup. Oh, as I say that, the Elemental Lord bashed off the top of the bridge, and that's not good news for her as she now waits for the buffs to come on through. They take a couple of pot shots down the back of the map towards the Malaysian side. And the decent explosion there for an area of effect from the Elemental Lord as the players just all waiting on through as here comes the priest and the Elemental Lord. The priest is leading the charge though for the team from Malaysia as he comes on in to take it on down low. Oh, the flame rod gets enshrouded on that priest. That is going to cause all manner of problems, and then the big old holy cross comes down from above. This could be end to the priest from Malaysia. It's going to be a 3v2 situation here as the Singaporeans lose their first. It is going to be the acrobat in the form of VFO. This could be the end of the round for them if they've gone and done that. There's still plenty of time left in it though with a minute on the clock. The priest from Singapore doing some good work with his Elemental Lord in support. They need to grab a kill here. They need to go and drop one down. They just can't do so at the moment. It's still 3v2 situation. The mercenaries going in for the attack onto the priest at this stage, and it's going to need to be the elemental lord who picks up a kill. It's going to be the priest from Malaysia who buffs himself up, gets ready for some action to occur, gets the shots out. Now they're going to team up on the priest on a double team effort. The elemental lord still out of the action, still needing to come on through and try and take some shots on to that double team that's occurring in the back play. There she does so. Now she's pushing on through. It's still a 3v2 situation. They still can't divide these two sides. It is still that one player who's been taken down. The priest is still standing, somehow still standing as the mercenary goes chasing. He tries for the buff once again, and then he's going to take a couple of shots. They're going to come in from all manner of sides. The bowmaster flinging the volley down. She's going to get a kill. That's going to be one taken out. In fact, it's going to be the mercenary who gets credited with that kill, and it'll just be the priest still standing. The elemental lord is gone. Oh, the priest barreling the mercenary into a corner, doing some great work off on the side there, but it is literally a matter of time as it exactly runs out, and it'll be another round on the board. Malaysia grabbing the advantage. This is match point and game point, ladies and gentlemen, as it's a 4 rounds to 3 situation. Malaysia have the opportunity to take this game away and take this match away, and get themselves finally on the board in this Shanda Invitational Best of 4 competition. It is all on for love and money, and the prizes from TT Esports by Thermaltake. That's exactly what they're all going to go and try and bash it around on. The priests push up into the middle, the lightning crosses go down, a volley of arrows come out, and the priest succumbs to a few of them, and now he pushes on down. Rather aggressively, there's the Singaporean priest in the form of Ice. He's got him support right behind him. They stick around, and they're going to take the higher ground. They're going to wait it on out up the top side and see what they can do. Boulders coming up in their general direction as the acrobat just firing a couple of shots off down towards the bottom of the map. That is the acrobat in the form of VFO. So 5 rounds to 3 was the first match, ladies and gentlemen. Then that was taken out by Singapore. Then 5 rounds to 2. Sorry, that was taken out by Malaysia. 5 rounds to 2 in favour of Singapore was the second one. And now we're here on this third and final map to see exactly what's going to happen between these two sides. 4 rounds to 3 advantage in favour of Malaysia at the moment as everybody starts to come to blows. As the shots are good ones there from the acrobat. The priest is hardly hurt though, as the bowmaster firing shots off from all manner of directions. The priest still standing here for Malaysia, decides he'll barrel on out of the offensive attack. He needs to stick with his team though. They need those heals desperately from him. The mercenary goes in close and gets himself ready and buffed up and organised. He howls his way across to the middle of the map. There's going to be elemental lords coming into play. Come on, NFO, get amongst it, sunshine. 3v2 situation here. Singapore has the disadvantage. The Malaysian side has the advantage here. They've got a player caught in a situation. Yes, they do take it down. It is going to be a 2v2 situation now as the bowmaster and the archer, the acrobat are both taken out. So the 2 archer classes are removed from the map. It leaves the elemental lord goes flame rod styles, gets cut off in mid-flight as she cops a little hit to the head, and but a decent amount of damage could have been done. Holy Light gets thrown down from above. Mercenary is the target of the affections from the priest and the elemental lord. She's got to be careful, the elemental lord, that she doesn't get stuck into a mercenary combo. That is going to be good work. The Singaporeans have come back nicely. There's going to be a 2v1 situation now. The priest has to go and pull something out of the bag here as the Singaporean priest and elemental lord still stand. Ice and NFO taking on Nels here. Nels hasn't been an object of too much noise so far in this game as he just continues to work his way through the map. And he's got a big task ahead of him, a massive task ahead of him. Is not going to occur because he's going to be taken to a 5th and final round, ladies and gentlemen. 4 rounds apiece on the scoreboard. Singapore and Malaysia are inseparable at this stage of the game. And we head on into this, the potential last round. It could go to a draw. I say that out of tongue-in-cheek, of course, as the cat and mouse games that these two teams have been playing earlier on in the affair may come into play and consideration. They start to get themselves set up and rocking and rolling. A big boulder is chucked out there from the Malaysian man Swift. He plays the mercenary role. As we wait up the top of the bridge for everything to occur, the Singaporeans have the high ground at this stage and doing very, very well with it. They'll be wanting to maintain it as more boulders coming up the top there, not really doing much of a concern at this stage for the Singaporean players. Malaysia just waiting their time out, biding their time, trying to get the cheap shots. There's 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the round. That will be a factor. You can be guaranteed of that. Or they're just blinking out of trouble here as one of the players has dropped off the side of the bridge. As she comes around the back door. The flame rod, nice and early there, and goes right down through the middle of the Malaysian side from the Singaporean player NFO. Now they're going to get into a world of trouble up the top of the bridge. It's going to be a close confined battle as a whole host of light continues to shroud the players. All sorts of flames go chucked down. There's going to be buffs, lightning crosses, and everything you like across the map. 3v2 situation. Malaysia loses their bowmaster. It is the acrobat who affects it. GG to the VFO as he grabs himself a first kill. As pushes continue to come from the Singaporean players, and they're going to regroup themselves because the Malaysian players are going to say, dude, let's back off and let's get ourselves reorganised. It is Mercenary and Priest taking on 3. If anybody can do it, it is this man, the Swifts. He has the class to get in close and get in dirty. He just needs that support from his priestly friend. And let's see if there's going to be griefing put on him. It will be a griefing battle. The 2 priests will go toe-to-toe in a fight over whose church looks the best as the lightning comes out just as the flame rod goes flying past him. It is going to be a big priestly battle here as the shot from the acrobat just stops that lightning strike in mid-flight. And then the shots continue to push on through. It's still a 3v2 situation. The acrobat has the opportunity to capitalise here. She can't quite do so. Now she's going to get herself back up. She's going to take away the shot onto the priest. He's stuck in a world of trouble here, all on his lonesome. There's nowhere to be seen as his mercenary friend, and he's absolutely getting pummeled to death and back because his mercenary friend's been taken down. It is going to be a game to Singapore. They will win it out of the depths of nowhere. 7 kills for the Elemental Lord, 5 for the Acrobat, and 4 for that man Ice. And that is how you win a game, ladies and gentlemen. Singapore come away with a win on Lost Temple.